Supercoach tabs on my phone at dawn, scrolling through the carnage, what went wrong? Grammar soul is steady, rookies on the rise, mid-prices tempting me, danger in disguise. Big J calling from the couch, mate, check your side. Joe bragging about a loophole, riding that tide. We're trading in our hopes like stocks on a screen, chasing that price rise, living the dream. Woo! We're the center bound crew. Hey! Whistle blows, we're riding it through. From goals and behinds to the last upgrade, greatest game in the world, that's how we're made. From a pig in the guts to the bench warmer blues, every week we're breaking the rules. They fell in our veins, yeah, it's all we do. We're the center bound crew. Got duds on the park, can't win a hard ball. Need a downgrade, target, answer that call. Possessions piling up, my captain's on fire. Vice loop lightning, sparks through the wire. Trade plan scribbled on the back of a bill. One more sideways move, I swear I'll sit still. But the siren, it's Friday, logic is gone. Mate, just push and go on. Who you backing in, who you backing in? Who you backing in, yeah. Who you letting go? One more risky move, then we steal the show. We're the center bound crew. Hey! Whistle blows, we're riding it through. From goals and behinds to the last upgrade, greatest game in the world, that's how we're made. From a pig in the guts to the bench warmer blues, every week we're breaking the rules. They fell in our veins, yeah, it's all we do. We're the center bound crew. We're the center bound crew. Oh yeah, the center bound crew. The center bound crew. The center bound crew.
Welcome everyone to the Centre Bounds for another Monday night live stream. Hope you're all having a wonderful time of this. It's a bit different, a little bit different. We had a long weekend here in Victoria. Where's my beanie? Let's get the beanie out. We had a nice long weekend here in Victoria. It was great to have the Monday off. Really important to get some rest and recuperate and fully invest into what was a ripping game of football today between the Pies and the D's. It was a great game, a cracking game. It was everything that you really wanted. An arm wrestle, low scoring, a lot of good Supercoach picks, scoring decently well also. And on top of all that, we had the day off, so we got to sleep in today, which is absolutely sensational. Potentially no Big J this week. Tonight, should I say. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It seems like potentially might not be joining us tonight, but as we all know, with Big J, he does his own thing and runs his own race. So hopefully you all had a very wonderful weekend of football. Also, I'll try and race through each of these games, a bit of a summary, and then potentially go through some of these comments. Good to see you, Kobe. How we doing? Yeah, the tipping wasn't that great. Tipping wasn't great because the Cats lost, something I'm happy to get wrong. The Hawks lost, again, something happy to get wrong. Dockers was correct. Lions was correct. Eagles let me down. Swans were successful. The Blues just, and I did tip the Demons. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 this week for me. Well done to you, getting 7. Very impressive. Is this the week to bring in Isaac this week because he could see his price rise? Look, as Flash says here, good to see you, Flash. 2 games of LDU or a Dawson because Heaney does have his bye coming up. So, yeah, probably not someone that you would be rushing to get in at this point because he's not going to get away from you. Going to bring in Whitfield or Ash, one of those two, trying to find some cash for Isaac Heaney. I think Whitfield and Ash will both be very serviceable options for you. So that's Plus, they've just come off their bye, which is excellent. Team scored 20. Hey, Mark. Very, very nice. And 9 out of 9 tipping. Gee whiz. You had a wonderful weekend, Mark. Good to see you, mate. G'day, Simi, 1916. Look, you did better than me. My week to this week, 1883. Not the best, not the worst. Almost the definition of my side. And I've managed to sneak back inside the top 20,000 for the first time this year since round 2. So get around us. Me personally, I'm grabbing LDU and Callahan for Pooh, Flanders, and Angry, getting the price forward rookie. Could swing Callahan to Dawson if I want. I don't know. I make a decision Thursday night. Yeah, Callahan is cheap. The run's pretty good for the Giants. I can understand why I'd want to go there. And I think LDU seems to be a very decent pickup. Seems to have really actually pulled the finger out this year, which is good to see. Bringing in Finn Callahan now. Yeah, he's very cheap. Off the bye. And he entered the bye flying. The frustrating thing this week, I have like 5 players out on the bye. In the middle, Smith, Weddle, Dacos. Weddle? You got Weddle, Kobe. Wow, okay, that's a pod. Angus Anderson. Angus Anderson's not someone that you'd necessarily be reliant on, I wouldn't imagine. And don't forget, it's best 18, so it's not the worst. Scored 1901. Won 2 of my head-to-heads thanks to that Cozzy goal at the end. Well, Cozzy was very frustrating because he had a few out of bounds on the fall, and then obviously that one shot didn't end up making the distance. So yeah, it was a little bit hard, but good to see him finally convert at the end. 1900s are very, anything 1900 plus would have been a very nice score indeed. Good day, Fabian. Durham. Look, Durham. Yeah, Durham. What did we play? Bombers versus Blues. He had a ripping start to the game, did Sammy Durham. He had 18 center bounces, which is obviously very impressive, very important for someone to score very well and give him a higher floor. Center field was given a defensive role to play on Paddy Cripps, but Sammy Durham was, him and Roby were our main midfielders. So it's obviously a very positive sign. There's a few people to come back into this team, though. For example, like Darcy Parish, for example. So Darcy Parish missed this game because of knee soreness. It's a question as to if he comes back into this team, and if so, who does he displace? So I would imagine Solly would want to play Elijah Sardis. So I think Elijah Sardis needs to be booked in for these games. The question then becomes, well, which of these mids gets pushed out of the midfield? So I guess the benefit with Durham is that he is quite cheap. The downside with Durham is the uncertainty, but also the fact that his bye, I think, is next week. Yeah, his bye is next week. So you'll get him in now, and then he'll give you a score against Melbourne, and then have a week off. So really, really wish Pooh didn't drop a stinker. I know. Nah, Pooh's put. It's in the name. Flash, it's in the name. 1 Supercoach cut by 8. If my opponent had gone with his VC, I would have been knocked out. Oh, Simi still lives in the cup. Nah, I died in the cup a long, long time ago. Do we reckon Jeremy Cameron's going to miss? He should be missing games. He should be missing games. If Jeremy Cameron is playing affected by his hand, I think it's clear that he is. He needs to have a week off or some weeks off. Look, yeah, Elaney killed us. No doubt about it. Elaney killed us this week against the Blues, especially with that decision or couple of decisions in particular really shit me. The one where Sully Roby made contact with her. Mate, he was pushed into you, firstly. Secondly, Paddy Cripps made contact with her just 2 minutes later, and that wasn't deemed a free kick. So, yeah, look, she clearly had something against us on the night, but that was frustrating. But even more ludicrous was the idea of, yeah, Ben Mackay is having a shot from 70 meters out. Yep, that sounds about right. Let's give him his full allotment of time plus 11 seconds. He had the ball for 41 seconds before he had his shot on goal there. So, yeah, it was a little bit ridiculous. I think the ball was in our forward 50 in the end. Does that mean we would have won guaranteed? Absolutely not. There's nothing guaranteed in life. But, yeah, a couple of a little bit silly decisions there. Similar with Haney, going to wait to, yeah. Could be more interesting to see if Isaac Rankin returns. Well, he was listed as only 1 week last week, so he could very well return. Report, yeah, that's right. Apparently, Maxi was managing some shoulder concerns. Some shoulder concerns, I think, would certainly be a problem, but I think they have to play him, surely. Also, why is Merritt? I know, it's taken all the... and the annoying thing is, Flash, that Dean Solomon said that we're going to keep him there. So, alas, that is impacting Roberts, but, he still managed to get a 110, which is not the worst. Okay, Travis, 1987 this week, but I'm worried next week if Shirley or McInerney miraculously plays, we'll have 18. Well, as long as you've got 18, that's the most important thing. I think a different umpire should make that call, maybe a boundary one. She can't see what's happening behind her. Well, of course she can't see what's happening behind her, but at the same time, if you're going to be paying free kicks against all contact, then at least be consistent about paying all free kicks against contact. So if you're willing to give a free kick against Sullivan Roby for making contact with you, then pay a free kick against Patrick Cripps when he does the exact same thing 2 minutes later. Just consistency is all we ask for, really. I think if Max again plays this week, should be a good option for captain. Yeah, I haven't looked that far. I mean, it's got the Bombers. The Bombers tend to be pretty bad for rucks, don't they? So maybe not a very good captaincy option. Also, in another universe, Merritt gets a clean pickup on those final seconds and the Dons when he was out. I know. Merritt had probably the worst game I've ever seen him play. It was quite crazy, Zach Merritt, just how poor he was. Where is Zach Merritt? There he is. He had 33 disposals. 33 disposals. Okay. 23 kicks, 7 clangers. When at 67% efficiency, he was probably Carlton's best player on the field last night. It's not even an exaggeration to say that Zach Merritt probably was Carlton's best player. Look at that ratio. 126 fantasy to 91 Supercoach. So, yeah, it was a bad one. It was a bad game, a dreadful game. But as an Essendon supporter, I take that in my stride. That our best player had one of his worst all-time games. And we were very injury depleted against the nigh full strength Blues. I know they don't have Wiedering out there, but let's be real. Apart from Wiedering, they have a full team. This is like the second equal youngest team in the comp with 17 injuries, and our best player had a mare, and yet we still only lost by 5 points. Look, I take that. I take that every day of the week, personally. If I'm going to win in Melbourne this week, pick the Bombers. Oh, no, I wouldn't be picking the Bombers to win a game. Not against Melbourne, but you know me, I'm quite pessimistic when it comes to trying to tip the boys. They really let me down the last few times that I did pick them, so we'll see what happens. Max was the only one that scored well against them. Yeah, true. Merritt, how did he score? He had a job interview for Carlton. I'm telling you, he was their best player. I wasn't watching the West Coast game. Did Murdoch have a job? No, not really. Not that I could tell in the West Coast game. I think he just played for a losing side, unfortunately. Only 69% efficiency, the 78% TOG. You know, as you can see, sort of had his usual movements around the ground. But yeah, just a poor game from Milan. What a big day it was today, so cold and wet. It's fun walking in the rain and getting drenched. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But at the same time, if you are serious about that, then I'm happy for you. Let's say something that Dirksen was going to go big, just vanish after the first quarter. Well, I was a little bit excited because, as you guys would have, if you guys just would have, seen from my live stream late last week, I traded in Nick Dacos, and boy, oh boy, wowee. I was so excited with Nick Dacos. Half time, the guy was on 78 points at halftime, and I was thinking, yippee! Yes! I traded in Nick Dacos at the perfect time. He is going banana. And then he ends up scoring 25 points for the rest of the game and chokes the game for Collingwood. And yeah, only finishes on 113, despite having basically 80 points to halftime. So yeah, I totally understand the idea behind excitement about someone going big. G'day, G-Bags. 1830 this week. Not so bad. No, it's not. I'm looking at only making one trade this week. Poodlehorn Francis leaves with 9 trades and 116 in the bank. Anyone else that you can trade out, G-Bags? Just try to upgrade. Just try to finish your team as ASAP. More premiums you have on your field, the better. Means the more likely you are to have a higher score. I mean, obviously it just opened not long ago, but I'm thinking of just finishing this team and being done with it all. Because seriously, this has been such a difficult season. McAndrew has made his money and then some. I'm so proud of him. Philippus crap, and Anderson, really, it's on the buy. Not really seeing him doing too much. Brendan Fitzgerald, Parker, and Wilkie to finish off the team. And there you go. So I've got 6 premiums in the defense, 8 premiums in the midfield. Grundy gone. Murdoch, I'm keeping it at 6, and Hawkahan. And in the I don't know, not just something I'm sort of contemplating at the moment. Basically, getting all the rookies off the field and being done with it all, and keeping 6 trades in the back pocket for injuries. It is a long season. It is a brutal season. There are injuries every single week. I'm sort of a little bit over it at the moment. It's been a very difficult season, but look, by doing it this way, if Hawkahan pushes out 70s every week, you never know. He might make me some money pretty quickly, and then maybe I can upgrade him to someone who's a fallen primo. But yeah, at the moment, I'm just thinking to get all of the rookies off the field and being done with it, really. Just a down game. Yeah, for sure. Sabertooth. What happened with Sherry? Oh, Jesus. Tristan Sherry. God damn. I mean, the whole North Melbourne side was a bit of a goddamn, wasn't it? The whole North Melbourne side were absolutely destroyed, which is pretty crazy because I think they were, within a kick in the second quarter. And then from that point on, I think, North Melbourne kicked 3 points. And the Dockers go on to kick like 120 on. Something ridiculous, astronomical, off the charts. It was free flowing, and that was what we were concerned about with Sherry. Only 15 hitouts, 2 to advantage, 4 tackles, 12 disposals, 2 kicks, 10 handballs. It was a shocking game. It was a shocking game all around. They were smashed up. They were beat up. They couldn't stop the Freo's ball movement. It was an outside game. It was absolutely everything Tristan Sherry would not have wanted. Still believe in him as a player. Still believe in these really positive matchups to come over the next few weeks. Knew it was going to be a tough ask for him, but I didn't think it would be that bad. Like, gee whiz. If we look at Sherry, so he would have dropped a nice amount of cash for those who don't own. 60K he dropped this week, which is amazing. A 188 break even. I would not be surprised if he gets somewhere close to it. Last time he played them, he scored a 199. So, yeah. He's got West Coast this week, Richmond the following week, and then he's got the Bombrays. So, a very positive little run to come. I would still get Tristan Sherry in if you can get him. He's a much better player than that, and I don't see North Melbourne getting bullied in that form the way that they did against Fremantle, because Fremantle are at the top of their powers. And I think North Melbourne, from a policy perspective, need to consider who they're selling games to. I understand the idea of selling home games, for example, playing games in Tasmania, because no one has an advantage playing in Tasmania. Or you're selling games to playing Kazali Stadium. I get that. You're playing in Darwin. No one really has an advantage there. But to sell home games, to play in Western Australia against Western Australian teams, we're selling home games to give away home ground advantage to the opposition. Like, to me, I think that's just a little bit how you're going. That's just a little bit how you're going to me. But hey, the powers that be at North Melbourne, Sonia Hood et al. Thought it would be a good idea to sell home games to play Fremantle over there. What a massive win by my Freo boys. So proud. Aren't we looking dangerous? You're looking more than dangerous. You're looking frightening at the moment, Kobe, and I'm so happy for it. I tipped you guys last year for the flag. I had you in my preseason prediction last year. I had you top 4 and winning the flag. So I went 1 year too early. But full belief in the Freo boys. If I make another trade, I'll be trading Anderson to Kyle. That will free up an extra 100K. Yeah, I like finding ways to be able to upgrade your team is always great. Don't let a week go to waste, G-Bags. Followed Big J pick for Captain Butters. What was I thinking? Picking a captain from a premium is tough. Look, it's been tough. I mean, just looking at my team for this week. You know, no one really, not a single player on my entire team would have yielded a score that I would have taken. It has been a tough year, for sure. It's been a very tough season. All I can say is, thankfully, my captain outscored my vice captain. That is all I can say. But yeah, it's been very hard. I totally agree. Horn Francis is calling in my forward line. Also need 2 more upgrades. Beautiful. Supercoach now open, rank 24K mark. Oh, there you go. We're very similar, Travis. I'm basically 20K. So you and I are very similar. For me and Connor will have to wait. Coming inside us have sold indeed. Another option could be moving Rechko's. That will free up an extra 50K. Yep. Could move that. What's Rechko's break even now at 27? Playing against the Lions, who might have found their mojo. Always believe in the Lions. Regardless of how bad they might be looking. You got to back them in. So yeah, I don't mind that. Extra money could be good. Great games of football this week with 6 games within 6 points. They were very, very good games, and we're going to talk about them in a second. G'day, Jamie. How you doing? Well, how many trades will we leave? I mean, there is no rule of thumb, but in reality, the more trades someone has, the more trades someone has with a finished team, the better. Because your team is finished, and then you've got more room to make luxury upgrades, to be aggressive down the track, or to cover for injuries. So in reality, the earlier you can finish your team with the least amount of trades, the better it will be for you. So for me at this point, I'm sort of almost content to field this team, keeping Clark, keeping Walsh, keeping Murdoch, and like a Hall Kahan, for example, in the flex to finish with six injury trades for the rest of the year. It's a long season. You know what I mean? It's a very long season. We've only just finished round 13. There's still 10 weeks of football after this one. So I would hate it if you had your finished team with no trades left and you're fielding donut primos because you don't have the trades to move them on, if you know what I mean. 100%. No, no apologies, Blue Iris. Don't apologize at all, mate. What is this, you generous human being? Thank you so much, Blue Iris. I told you your Lions would win. I told you your Lions would come back. Don't give up on your boys. If there's ever a person to not give up on their team, it's got to be you. You guys, and as soon as I saw McCluggage out, I'm thinking, great. You guys are going to be better for it because you were clearly playing a guy who was hampered with something. So when you take someone who is hampered with injury and you replace them with someone who is good to go, you are more than likely going to see a bump up in performance. I did not trade in Wilmot, unfortunately. It was it was just a bit of a thought experiment. What I ended up doing last week was I felt like I had to trade in Nick Dacos. And I really wanted to bring in Max Holmes as well. So, because I just know the run home for Geelong is so good that I really wanted to bring him in when I had the chance, I suppose. And Nick Dacos was 520k. Just thinking, this is probably as cheap as Nick would ever get to. And surely I have to finish my team with Nick Dacos on the side. So, and I thought that he would score pretty well playing against Melbourne, who really aren't tagging these days. So I was thinking Nick would smash his break even and go up a lot of money. And I really wanted that. I really wanted those points. And it was looking good for a half when the guy was on 80 points at half time. Unfortunately, he went to sleep afterwards and tried the game for Collingwood with quite a few turnovers going inside forward 50. Any of those kicks hit the mark, and we're getting some big-time score assists, goal assists, and lots of scaling. Alas, not to be. Not to be. Was tossing up Roberts and Noble. I wish I went Noble. Oh, yeah. If only went Noble. Mate, Mark is loving life with Noble and Dale. Very nice. Very, very nice work, Mark. They are doing God's work for you. The 13 tons. Jackson was my highest. Captain Gorn foolishly again. Look, it's hard to go past the great man, Big Max. He's been doing it for such a long period of time, and he had some, he was on track for a very big score. Alas, in the last quarter, disappeared a bit, but he was doing very, very well. Campbell Lake get dropped. I mean, maybe. We'll see. But at this point in time, I don't think you're picking these rookies for playing purposes. It's more so just in terms of releasing the cash to finish your upgrades, really, is really all it is, I think, at this point. If Baz nor Holmes aren't in your VC plans and you're not playing the game right, going to be 2 150s. Yeah, so, and that's another reason, why I really wanted Holmes in my team, because I already have Baz. So I want both of the running brothers. I really wanted them both playing against the Suns at GMHBA Stadium. One of them certainly is going to be in my VC plans, and I'm thinking it's going to be Baz, personally, who is going to be the person who I think dominates. But Max Holmes has been an absolute superstar. So, yeah, I really wanted both of the Geelong boys ASAP. I'm doing 2 trades this week, Jagger Smith and Rechko for Finn Callahan and Jasper Alga. Very cool. What do you think, Joe, without Anderson, Walsh, and Smith in Lake, Horn Francis, and Nando's? Yeah, Nando's has been pretty good. Nando seems to have turned a corner a bit, which is impressive, which is very important. He's already had his bye, which helps. The horny one. What did Horn Francis do? Horn Francis, 119. I mean, at his price, he's already had his bye as well. DPP helps. Not too bad at all. And if Blake plays, then you can get him in. Yeah, I got no issues with that. Walsh is a fake primo. Where is he? He's a fake primo, isn't he? Gee whiz. Carlton got sucked in. His manager has done an incredible job selling a massive deal of this to Carlton. Gee whiz, I can't imagine being stuck with that contract for a long period. He is a fake primo. So trading out Walsh, how many trades would that leave you, Travis? I think it really comes down to a question of how many trades you'll have left. But I'm not against it. A couple of weeks ago, it would still have been up despite Noble playing one less game. Hindsight's 2020. I don't know which defender to bring in under 520. Can't be Wilkie. I've already got Sinclair and Nass already, and you'll be cooked in round 16. Under 520. Can I entertain you? Would you entertain a Luke Parker? How about Luke Parker? Look, the scores aren't groundbreaking, but the thing that he has going for himself is that he does take kick-ins. So, and he's already had his bye, he's got DPP, and he's cheap. So, yeah, considering Parker's a really juicy, cheap option. If you haven't got him, or you don't want him, there's obviously another GWS great player in Lockie Ash, who is 509. Also, I think presents pretty decent value. Break-even is only 94, and is up against the Saints, who we know are notorious at giving up points to defenders. So, yeah, a couple of really decent options there, I think. Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably G-Bags, because ultimately it's all about unlocking the cash that you've got tied to various rookies on your bench to just continue to facilitate upgrades in your team. Does someone go into midfield with McInerney injured? I don't think so. I think they've got plenty of other options in the VFL that they can elevate. So I would not think so wrong. Good to see you, Akka. Yes, you were right all along, and I'm stuck with this prick. You could go McCarthy. Yep. Worrell and Ash. Indeed. Yep. He's on $1 million. Yeah. He's on big bucks. Is Sammy Walsh? He's going to be on big bucks for a while. So insane. I think I'll just be patient. Round 16, I already have 11 trades left. Well, that's not bad. 11 trades is good. 11 trades does allow you to be aggressive and does allow you to continue to make further luxury trades. So for me, I'm thinking, Walsh, yes. If you have the trades, flick him off. Clark, if you have the trades, flick him off. So these are luxury trades that if you have the space to do so, you'd do it, because neither of these are anywhere near top liners at this point, and they're taking up a very valuable primo spot on the field when we know that they are fake primos in reality. So, yeah, if I had the trades, I'd do it. Alas, I'm down to 6. If I was to fix them, then obviously I'm not upgrading my team with more premiums. I'm just sidewaysing them, and it will leave me with 2 trades left, which might be still worth it, potentially. C on Neil, VC on Holmes. Yeah, 100%. I mean, Neil's got a very nice matchup this week. He's got the Tigers at Ninja Stadium. So all aboard the Lockie Neil train with that one. So I love those options there, Blue Iris. There's my Brownlow fave so far. The one favorite. Look, it's probably Bailey Smith. Is it Bailey Smith? Or is it Bond? Because Bond hasn't missed any games. He's been playing under duress. He's been playing injured. I think. You know what? I'm going to say Bond. If Bond doesn't win it this year, he's never going to win it. So I'm really hoping the umpires recognize that, because the Bond is 30, coming on 31 this year. Okay, Bailey Smith still a bebe, still 25, turning 26 at the end of this year. So he's got plenty of years to come. And Nick Dacos, he's only 23. So umpires, please, for the love of God, give the Brownlow this year. Seriously. I'm not spoken about much. I thought of Durham. Good to see you, Alex. Yeah, the thing with Durham, he's got the bye next week. He had a lot of CBAs this week, which was good coming off from his concussion, but there was no Darcy Parish in the side, and I don't know who Darcy Parish pushes out of that midfield. Darcy Parish, I think, was just a test, having had knee soreness. And it'll be a question to see how Dean Solomon wants to run it. Does Dean Solomon want to continue to run this very young midfield? Because it was a pretty young midfield, if we look at it. In our CBAs, Setterfield was there to play a defensive accountable role on Cripps, sort of like a at stoppages defensive role. So it was Durham, Roby, and Sardis. It was quite a young midfield. Now, I don't know if Parish comes in. Does he replace Setterfield? Does he come in to replace Sardis? Does he come in and Durham plays more forward? I'm not sure. I haven't had a read yet on what Dean Solomon wants to do with the side moving forward. So I don't know if Durham continues to have such a high CBA percentage. But the good thing is that he's cheap. So it's not like you're breaking an arm and a leg to bring him in. Sammy Durham is less than 400k. Yeah, 365. That's not too bad at all. 365k up against the D's this week. So with some DPP, he's someone that you could wait. He's someone that you could wait to bring in after his bye next week. And if he's good enough, you can just plug him in flex, to be honest. So I don't think there's any rush to get him in this week. Bailey Smith for you, Blue Iris. I wouldn't be surprised. Theo, how are you, mate? Ash, Bailey Smith, Khan for Grundy, Anderson, and Carroll. Are you trading out Grundy, Theo? Is that what I'm reading? You're trading out Grundy. Why? If you really wanted to trade out Grundy, then you really should have traded him out last week, when his break even was one. What was his break even last week? I don't know. It was a very high break even. He lost money. So I would not be trading out Grundy at this point. Thanks to you for the call. Thank you. Anytime. Baz Dacos Bont. You can't pick him off. The Bont. Similar Travis got the coverage to field around 17-80% for the next 2 weeks. They're going to make moves. Very nice. Thoughts on Pooh to Timmy T? Timmy Taranto? Tim Taranto? Wow. That's not an option I would have considered. Look, he's probably better than what his price is, but who has to go? You can flush him for sure. But surely with all that money on him, you can one down, one up to someone better than that. I don't mind getting Parker this week. He's had his bye. He's probably going to go around 100 odd, which at 473 is pretty good, to be honest. The DPP helps. I don't think it's a bad idea. His run's pretty good as well to come. Yeah, he's got some pretty decent matchups. He's shown that he can go big. He's had a couple of 60 scores, sure, but for the most part, he's averaging around that 100 mark, so it's not the worst. Anyone up there too, I reckon. He's had some good games. Yeah. True, yeah, absolutely. The Bont deserves one, and Heaney would be up there. I think Heaney only missed the one game with concussion, right? So if that was the case, Heaney would be up there, actually. Good call. Good shout, Jamie. 100% he would be up there. Neil is a smoky. Neil would be a smoky because I don't think there's been a lot of other Brisbane players who are putting their hand up to take those Brownlow votes. So, yeah, he would be a smoky. Jai Sarong or Caleb Sarong? Definitely not Caleb Sarong. Parrish in, Perkins out. They play different roles, Mark. So if Parrish comes in and Perkins goes out, then that means we're pushing one of Roby or Durham to play half forward. Parrish not going to play half forward. Jagger to and make 50k. Jagger to Durham and make 50k. What did Jagger do? How did Jagger score? Gee, only 63. That's a letdown. Where's Tatum? Tatum guaranteed me he was going to score 100 plus this week. He did have a nice last quarter. But then again, so did the Blues in general. Played their best footy in the last quarter. So, what's his CBAs like? Cripps, Walsh. Oh, shit. Walsh had the second most CBAs for Carlton. What a spud. George Jagger had the 15. And now Carlton have the bye. You know what? Sure, go for it. I approve. Well, who's better, Finn or I reckon Finn's better. I think Finn's going to get you better, more reliable scoring than Horn Francis. But Horn Francis obviously has the forward status, which comes in really handy. Sorry about that. Had to sneeze. So they don't fill the same role. You wouldn't be picking Horn Francis for your midfield. You'd be picking Horn Francis specifically for your forward line. And if you had to pick one or the other, I'd be leaning Finn. Rather Taranto pick? I don't. He's a butcher. Taranto is a fantasy pick more than a Supercoach pick, in my opinion. Woohoo review! Sup, mate? How you doing? Your boy Walsh, man. Your boy Walsh has burnt me. Your boy Walsh has made me feel upset. I don't like it. Thanks, Kobe. Woody, how are you, mates? Hope you're doing well. I'm very happy to see that Nazaya did not get tagged to Oblivion, and Nazaya scored pretty well. So there you go. And I did get my bad karma because we had a heartbreaking loss against the Blues. So I deserved everything that came my way. Everything. So for how dare I say such bad things about Nazaya? I have one mid left. I have Heaney, Baz, Bont, Butters, and Nakos. That is a smexy midfield. That is a very smexy midfield. Whoever you get will be very lucky to be joining that rank. Those ranks. You've already got Baz, you've already got Heaney, you've got Butters, you've got Bond, got Nakos. How about LDU? LDU has a very, very nice 3 games coming up. Obviously got no bye, which helps. So LDU's not too bad. Dawson's not too bad. Anderson, if you want someone cheaper, Anderson gives you pretty decent value. Finn Callahan gives you even more value at $4.94, which is not too shabby. But look at the run home. Who's got the best run home for midfielders? I go to the DVP. They're the midfielders. So the Hawks have the best run, followed by Geelong. So if you haven't got Holmes, or Holmes is sitting in your back line, that's not too bad. Saints, you probably already have an Isaiah. Neil could be really good with a nice top 4 run home for midfielders, and he's obviously got Richmond this week. So Lockie Neal could automatically be part of your captaincy options this week, which is pretty good. Adelaide come next, and I've really liked the look of what Dawson has been doing in that midfield. Seems to have his kicking boots back on. So you can't go wrong, I think, with Dawson. The only thing with Dawson is that he's obviously more prone, I think, than the others that we just mentioned, having a potential role change. But those seem to be the ones with the best run home. So, yeah, if it's not because if you don't have Holmes, and Holmes is in your back line already, though, so don't worry about that. So Holmes is good, Nass is good, Neil is good, Dawson. I still think Finn Callahan is a really good option at his price as well, because he is very cheap. He is very, very cheap, and he only has the one red matchup for the whole year, being against Freo in round 17. So only one red matchup for the whole year, which is not too bad. Pretty decent return, I think, on the investment. So those are probably the ones there. Woody. Oof, Jesus, in that time I was going through that spiel, a lot of comments. I'm holding Spud McInerney. If it wasn't the buyers, I'd trade my best 18. Yeah, exactly. You're in no rush to trade people out with best 18. Do you like Caleb Daniel? No. I think he's trash. No, I'm just joking. I personally don't know Caleb Daniel. I think he's got a certain set of skills, and I think the Dogs. I think North would be a lot better if they trusted the ball to Luke Parker more than they trusted to Caleb Daniel. I think Caleb Daniel is also a little bit of a liability defensively on the field, and North Melbourne's scope for improvement and potential to challenge will forever be stunted as long as this guy stays on the field. So yeah, standard lockout rage has been looking at going Walsh, Clark, and Pooh to Finn, Ash, and Durham. 3 upgrades remaining, 9 trades, top 2% cutting it fine. Mate, I totally understand that. Walsh and Clark are both fake primos. Sort of spoke about that just before. And I'd love to trade them out, but I don't have the trades to do so. I just don't. And I know that the second I trade them out, I'm going to get a bunch of injuries and I'll be cooked because I won't have enough trades to cover those injuries. So I might just be. I think as suboptimal as it is, I think this is what I'm doing. Bringing in Parker and Wilkie as my last 2 on-field options, and just floating a 99k in the flex. Burnt too many trades, used too many trades, and now I'm paying the price for it. And that's all it is, really. 3 upgrades with 9 trades is cutting it very, very close. You got to think about it. Even if you were to upgrade, right, within those 9 trades and get those 3 upgrades done, you might have, 1 trade left, 2 trades left, maybe, and be stuck with really being at the mercy of external forces and that your players stay healthy for the entire year. It is a lot of football to come. A lot of football to come, bro. Just because you finish the team now doesn't mean that the game is finished. It's 24 rounds of football. 24. And we're only entering round 14 now. So I think it's really important that you keep these injury trades up your sleeve. As we get closer to the end of the year, obviously the likelihood that you will be getting mass injury starts to decrease, and then you can start, maybe using 1 or 2, and then entering the last month with 3. But yeah, I'd be playing it. Finish the team. As unhappy as you are with it, you still need to have that backup. I do think so, Lazari. I think he is. Especially if the Lions turn their season around. I think he will be. Will Merritt plan down backs one or Parrish to half forward? He kick goals, something which you decide around nothing to lose. Oh no, there's nothing to lose for sure. Absolutely. But would you rather be giving games to Parrish over games to Perkins? I'd rather Perkins, because Perkins is younger and has more scope to grow if we get better coaching staff. But Parrish, you know what Parrish is. Parrish is not going to improve. And this is all Parrish will ever amount to be. If anything, I'd be looking to move Parrish on to another club, whoever would take him. I would not be prioritizing games into Parrish over Perkins. But that's just me. I reckon next week might be Murdoch and Cumming to Dawson. Really like the Crows run. They just need to build a package around Sardis for Heaney. It's going beautiful flash. Beautiful. Love it. Beware of a man with a plan. Retchko, Walsh, and McInerney out for Finn, Nando's, and Lake. Nice. I like it. 2 premiums in who are value at their price points as well as having had their buy already. Not bad. Walsh is dead to me. However, still wearing the shirt now. Surely not dead to you, mate. If that was the case. Yeah, I agree. Dawson's a good option. Get Neil. Yep. Finn. Yep. Michael wanting to trade Dan Houston. Dan Houston. Never heard of her. Fake primo. Fakest of primos. I can't believe I got roped into trading this guy in. I can't believe I was roped into trading this son of a bee in. Where's my history? Bloody hell. Where is he? Where is he? When did I trade this bastard in? Houston. A boost. Houston in round 3. What a fake. What a fake-o. For 431, I traded this guy in there. 431. I got rid of him immediately next week. I knew it. I knew I shouldn't have done it, and I did it, and I didn't give a shit. This guy is a fake primo. Trade him out. I don't care. Trade him out. Willing to entertain as a fair trade. You sparkle an old horseshoe or your grain's top denture plate. Bruh, I'm keeping all those. I'm keeping all those ahead of Dan Houston. I'm sorry. Sorry, mate. I am not willing to facilitate any trade for him. He's yours. All yours. Not my problem. Yes, he is one ticket instead. I agree. Don't know who I'm getting around 15 yet, but 16 is Errol and 17 is Nazaya. Nice. Round 15. That's next week. You could get Sam Walsh in. Could get Nick Dacos in if you haven't got it. It'll be off the bye as well. Whoever you want, really. The world's your oyster, woohoo. Whoever you can afford. G'day, Globes. How you doing, mates? Dawson will score low against doggies to pick up Marvel. Everyone scores low against doggies, don't they, Akka? Unless, of course, you're Jai Newcomb. Talk to me about Does. What do you want to know about him? Globes, you're an Essendon supporter just as much as I am, bro. We love him, don't we? He's a beautiful man. Players with heart and gusto, and gee whiz, we missed him. But yeah, I just don't think there's any rush to get him in. We're playing against Melbourne. They're a pretty good team. So it's not like he's going to dominate them. And then he has the bye. I don't think anyone's in any rush to trade in Does this week. I have Holmes, but I do like the Neil Dawson Callahan calls. Anytime. I'm glad I held Dawson. He was at the Dortmund stage. Glad I came to my senses. No, he's a great footballer. He is a great footballer, especially what he's doing in the face of such adversity with his brother. He's a gun. Not many players in the competition that I can, off the top of my head, just be like, yeah, let's caress the ball from 55 meters out, drop punt. Just caress it. Doesn't even look like he's trying. He is the Roger Federer of the 55-meter drop punt, isn't he? It's almost effortless the way he just sends it flying, and it's a sight to behold. Do you finish your team with Heaney and trade left, or without Heaney and 2 trades left? 2 trades left is terrifying to me. 1 trade left is just as good as Heaney is, right? What happens though if, say for example, you've got Heaney in your team, but you've also got Sam Walsh in your team, and then Sam Walsh gets injured, right? You got 1 trade left. Sam Walsh gets injured. You obviously can't 1 down, 1 up because you only got 1 trade left. And you have to sideways Walsh to someone. Realistically, when Walsh is going to be 450k, who are you sidewaysing in? That is remotely good. And then guess what? You do that sideways and you're left with 0 trades. Kaput. I think having more injury trades is way better than less. I think so. Because at the moment, you might get ahead, right, in terms of points by having Heaney, but compared to someone who doesn't, right? You're sort of going up, but you may be going up more than the other team, right? However, if you're out of trades and you're fielding rookies, but the other team that held on to trades manages to trade in a hot premium who's coming into form at the end of the season, they could very well still overtake you in terms of overall points come into the season. That's how you look at it though if you're playing in for overall. If you're playing for leagues, then it's obviously different. But if you're playing for overall ranking, it's not just about the immediate points that you get, it's the overall points that you get by having the injury trades. I think the injury trades are vital. You want to know about injury trades, how important they are? Ask Godfather. That's all I have to say. Right? There's a reason why Godfather finished fourth. The great man. He was stuck fielding a donut on the field for the last month of the game. He was out with a donut. And that's how he got caught at the end. So having that injury trade is very important. Mate, Max Hall's a beast. I love him. But he's got the round 16 bye, which obviously sucks. But he's a great player, Maxi Hall. Lots of CBAs. You'll love to see it. I'm not against it personally. I'm not against it. But I think you're better off asking a St. Kilda player. Sorry, a St. Kilda supporter. If anyone's going to come in and take some more midfield minutes. Hey there, how are you, mate? Top 500 this week. Beautiful. Love to see it, mate. Good stuff, bro. Good stuff. 12 trades, 2... What? You're in the top 500 with 12 trades and 2 boosts with 2 upgrades. Bro. What? This is amazing. Incredible. I am so jealous. I'm about to turn green. I'm so happy for you, Aiden. Well done, mate. Look, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. No, Joe, balls to the walls on trades, full steam ahead, take the punt. You do win being safe. Right, it's not about being safe. It's about you taking the game on, but you need to have obviously some built-in mechanism. So, for example, the Bombers, right? So I'm going to talk about Bombers because I know you're a Bombers man. How great was it to watch the Bombers when we had Sard and McKenna running off halfback? How great was that? How fun were those days, Mark, where it was just full run and gun, running off halfback, super offensive, right? How far did that take us? Took us to an elimination final where we got pumped by 90 points by West Coast at Optus Stadium. So, look, it's great to take a punt. It's great to go balls to the wall, and you can get a dopamine hit. But ultimately, you need to have some inbuilt mechanisms. 3 trades left after round 17. Sinclair, Holmes, Whitfield, Roberts, Lizard, at mid, Heaney, Baz, Butters, Bont, Nakos, Finn, Errol, Nazaya to be confirmed. Ruck, Gordon, Dogger, forward. Shees, Track, Murphy, Reed, Bailey, Zach Bailey, Cosy Pickett, Sammy Dara, and the flex could be anyone who's good. I love it. Great work, Woohoo Review. I love it. I traded in the dud too, but then so I traded in the Lizard a week. Oh. Love me a good Lizard. I love the Lizard when he's in full flight. Maybe Dawson round 15. you'll have a bit more of a you'd have a bit more of a sample size come round 15 about Dawson. What's Dawson's break even? You could be paying up for him though. 579, break even of 125. Yeah, you'd really want him to not go big. Last time he played at Marvel Stadium against these guys, he scored a 157. It's pretty damn good. If he goes 157 again, not saying that he will. Oh, he's projected a 135. He'll be 583k. Not the worst. Yeah. The amount of conservatism I'm going into next year. Well, it is going to be crazy. This year I traded in Sherry out next week. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm going to be very much the same, Flash. I'm going to be really guarded and really precious with who I'm trading in because I'm the same. I've had a lot of bad trade-ins. Lukosius was one of them as well. Houston. So and I'm definitely not going to be paying up big for any trade-in targets during the course of the season because quite a few of these people who I've traded in this year at big price tags, like the Bonds, for example, like Grundy, just have not paid out. So, yeah, I think I'm taking a lot of learnings going into next year, which will be great. Well, help us, money prints and some of my investment properties. Unfortunately, this I love it. Woohoo! Bombers should package Ridley and Parrish for Zach Bailey. Zach Bailey's going to be a free agent, so I don't think we necessarily need to send players their way. I'd rather send Ridley to the Suns so that we could get Ethan Reed. I wouldn't mind Ethan Reed. That would be a sick trio. Reed, Reed, Caddy, and May. I think that'd be a very powerful trio. Zach Bailey, I'd love to send Merritt there instead. I don't know. I'll give $1,000 for Paris to piss off. You're a very generous man, Kobe. That's a first rounder, if that's what it takes. Sam Walsh is injured. Have you seen him? I have. He upsets me. I wish I wasn't looking at him. Poet, I've heard word. There's more talks of another Grundy rest. I have heard this too, yes. Foxy has come out and said that, yes. Also about Heaney too. Might go Nas a week or so later and say the trade. Been calling Heaney operator the whole year anyways. Might as well double down on it. Fair enough. 5% student must go pass away. It was going all into the class. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Kobe. May he rest in peace. Hopefully, you all have a wonderful vigil for him, I suppose. Gee, that's so tragic. School-aged child dying. Would you trade Sherry in this week with a high break, even a good matchup, wait till he drops, or pick Jackson after his bye? I'd go Jackson after the bye. I reckon I'd go Jackson after the bye. Godfather wouldn't have gone number 4 if he kept those trades. False metric. Godfather wouldn't have gone number 4 if he kept those trades. Well, he got to number 4 because he had no trades. If he had one trade left, he could have gotten himself more points. No? In running out of trades, he was stuck building donuts. Don't know how he died. Of course, they're not going to tell people that. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. On his bias stopping you. Round 16 is a tough week. Very, very tough week. Oh. So tragic, man. I've been drinking since 11 a.m. I wish. That's tough, bro. That's so tough. Don't smoke. Don't vape also. Agreed. Hope the last 8 rounds I have 8 trades left. Currently enjoy the footy tipping. Only got 5. Yeah, I'm the same. 5. 5 for me as well, Travis. Not a great week. It's clean, green. Agreed. I have to keep 2 rookies, as I'll only get 21 primos. Which would you keep out of Murdoch, Sardis, and Sarong? I'd probably keep Murdoch and Sardis. As long as Sardis is playing midfield, he's going 90, around 90, I reckon, which is not the worst to have on a regular basis, a 90 score. Sarong, being a winger, will obviously be fluctuating. Like for me, just going to trade in substitute opportunity first to go. Yep, 100%. I have no doubt, Aka, no doubt. I like Merritt, Joe, but no. Not your decision, Blue Iris. Not your decision. If he kept that one trade, he may have still been outside top 100. Is every single trade done necessary to get you in a place? Or is one trade not done? Like, for example, if you hadn't maybe sideways a bad mid-pricer during the course of the season, and he had that one trade left up his pocket, right? Like trade in a player to trade out a player the next week. Trade in a player to trade. If you just did one of those, right? If just one of those wasn't done over the course of the season and just left it in his back pocket, I don't think that one trade was going to prevent him from being top. But having no trades can put him at the mercy of what was behind him. And that's the problem with not having any trades. You become entirely handcuffed to destiny. When you are out of trades, you literally cannot react to anything. Anything. And if your bench is full of duds, right, it's a 0. It is a donut. And at the end of the season, when people have full premium teams, that donut sticks out so much worse. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Why are you drinking Marks? It's 11 alcohol. Who's my top 6 forwards? Oh, mate, put a blanket over them. It's a very weird one. It seems Shazel, yes. Tracy seems yes. I reckon Cozzy will. Sanders has come out of nowhere and surprised. Petrarca should be. Oh, no. Flash, it's worse now. For people with truly complete teams, they also have a premium in the flex. Which means that if you've got a donut on your field and you're up against other people who don't have donuts, they are picking the best 22 out of 23 premiums. But that's not happening if you're copying a donut on the field. It's actually worse. So I reckon, so Shazel, Track, Tracy, Sanders, Cozzy, maybe Took, maybe Bailey, maybe Horn, maybe Williams, maybe Murph, maybe Hall, now that he's getting CBAs a lot more. Maybe Rankin, once he starts to play a full season. Yeah, this could be anybody. Gone 2 trades, leaving 7 trades left. Hey, Kirby, death is life. Life is suffering. Pick up the weight and carry it. Be strong for your people. And give yourself a purpose. This is your time. I got 7 out of 8. Only missed on West Coast. Wow, good work, Blue Iris. So you did end up tipping your boys to win. You were here talking about, I don't watch football anymore. The season's over. My boys are done. And then you tipped them. Well done. I'm proud of you. I have Decades Day next week. Decades Day? What does that even mean? Wish I got Tracy at 4:30. I know, right? Exactly 200. No. What? It's exactly 200 days until Christmas. what present would you want? If you and Mark had the final word to pick a new Essendon coach, who would it be? Well, Travis, I've spoken with Mark. Mark and I are not 100% on the same page on this. There you go. For Mark, Herd is the only one. Okay? No one else can be the coach for the Dons but Herdy, according to Mark. I don't have that view. I very much would like, for me, my ideal situation, which I know is not going to happen. But hey, you're asking me for Christmas, and with Christmas you can dream. My dream would be that we get someone like John Longmire, the horse, to come in as a director of coaching mentor for someone like Corey Enright or Pops Kelly out of Geelong. I would like one of them to be appointed as the head coach with John Longmire as their mentor in the box, obviously being the senior coaching assistant. I would then like for whoever it is that gets appointed, whether it be Enright or Kelly, to then bring the other to come to the club also as an assistant coach. So that way we've got the two Geelong guys, and we've obviously then got John Longmire. I'd then love to have Ken Hinkley on the bench, the same way that you've got, Craig McRae on the bench talking to the players. I'd love it if Ken Hinkley was the one on the bench distilling the messages coming from upstairs, because he has just such a great way of talking to people and he's great at connections. So I'd love for that to happen. And that's my dream. My dream, if we could do that, that would be the best thing possible for the club, because it is a full coaching panel that has changed. I'm not putting all my hopes and dreams into a messiah to come back into the side to be the coach. If Herdy wants to come as a coach, well, he can come in as CEO. I reckon he would make a great CEO for the Bombers. Don't see a reason why it needs to be as a coach. That's for me. But interesting question. Just up the way on the 7th. Oh, cheers, Travis. Well, the 7th like. Well, glad to see 94 people who are currently watching me at the moment don't like the content. I'm glad no one likes the content. Should I keep it going or should I stop? Thank you. Yes, it's right. Stretch dates to get Herd in. Yeah, that would be an interesting one. Corey Enright and Ken Hinkley as an senior assistant. Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. Massive raps on Corey Enright. He's done it the hard way. He's done it the right way. He's obviously come through the Geelong system. He's now under Ross Lyon. So he's been under some really good coaches. Obviously played under Bomber Thompson. Was coached by him. Was obviously coached alongside Chris Scott. Coaching alongside Ross Lyon. Does it? Yeah. Fagan is a rare breed, Blue Iris. Fagan is rare. Not many people can do a Fagan. Maybe that, yeah, someone out of Brisbane as well, 100%. If we can get someone out of that Brisbane system, would be sensational. I'm all 7 of those likes, by the way. Poet with all of his alt accounts. Look, if you guys don't want to like, it's entirely up to you. But can we at least show Big J that if I'm the one doing the stream, it's not like it's broken and we've gone to shit? Can we at least show Big J that Joe knows how to run a stream? We can do Gridley. Absolutely, we can do a Gridley. Herd has unfinished business with the AFL and the Australian government. The Brisbane system, like Vossi or Brad Scott. No, not the playing system. No. I want the Brisbane coaching system that has come and learnt from Fags. All right? not the players, please. I'm a Blues supporter, and Fraser doesn't want it. I'd like James Kelly. 100%, bro. James Kelly is another thing that I like about James Kelly is that James Kelly was at the Bombers as an assistant coach after he came to the club as a top-up player when we had the supplement saga. So there is a connection there. There is a connection there. And I'd love for us to try and bring him back. How do I trade Josh Dacos? Should I forgive after my league was all squared? Josh versus Cozzy. Wanna take all you beauty, Josh? No, don't trade out Josh Dacos. Can confirm I won. I think Wolves will be an excellent choice, especially with Mark enjoying betting on the horses. Yes, Travis. I did not think to use that argument. Travis, beautiful. I love it. All right. Quick recap of the round of football before we turn our attention to the Gridley. So we started off Thursday night. Did a watch along for this. What an amazing watch along it was. This game was so much fun. The Crows managed to hold on for 3 odd minutes against the Cats by 1 point. Was incredible. Was way too good. It was such a good game to watch. Cats had opportunities, didn't take it. Crows shot on goal from outside 50. Was deemed a goal, but then overturned because of a spike on edge. The drama. Oh, that was insane. I love that. That was so good. McAndrew, my boy, 105. Dawson underscored, in my opinion, with 114. His impact was sensational. So well done to the Crom. They got a really important scalp. And the Cats now, 2 weeks in a row with 4 losses. We then moved to Friday night, Hawks v Dogs. I'm not even sure if this was a game of football or if this was just constant punch-ons. And James Sicily, I reckon, needs to have a drug test because James Sicily was absolutely off his chops. Having constant fights, constantly fighting with Lewis. It was absolutely... Was it Lewis? What was his name again? What was his name again? Who moved across? It was Lewis. Absolutely ridiculous. So... well done to the Dogs. A stirring victory. Came back from behind. It was everything you wanted to see as a neutral supporter. Obviously, if you're a Hawk, like my dad was, he walked away in disgust. But it was a very, very fun game. Very entertaining. Well done to the Dogs. Never say die attitude. This game happened. And we move on. Lions. I was saying it. You got to keep backing it in. You got to keep backing in the Lions. You're going to come back eventually. You can't trust the Suns just yet. The Suns haven't done anything to warrant any sort of trust in them. And lo and behold, the Lions came out to play. Logan Morris, gee whiz, 7 goals. 7 goals for Logan Morris. What a star. Lockie Neal was a pig as usual, 37 disposals. Darcy Wilmot just lapping it up off half back. Harris Andrews had a fantastic game, had a really big job to play on King, and I think he did it sensationally well. For the Suns, not enough contributors. It's a bit, they just play on talent at the moment, and they had a period of time when it looked like they were coming back into the game, but the Lions flex their muscles and show that they are still the better, stronger, older brother. Then, Power v Eagles, this game, an upset. Who would have thought that the Eagles were going into this as favourites? And I was really surprised that Port managed to hold on to a really important victory for their future because Zach Butters, his days are numbered. His days are numbered coming in to the end of his contract with the Power. McCarthy doing really well. Waterman, he had an off sort of night. He had some moments where he looked like a hero. Other moments he quickly turned into a zero. But well done to Port Power going across to Optus Stadium and managing to sneak forward and take this win. I didn't watch this game in any terrific detail, which is a shame because I might actually watch the replay for this. 11-11 plays 10-11. That's pretty impressive. Swans v Saints. What a week! A week's a long time in football. The Saints were absolutely deplorable in the first half against the Hawks. They come out firing this time around though, and really were leading the entire game, if not for the very, very last few minutes there, where Jai Sarong on the receiving end manages to clinch a really clutch time goal. And I would have to say though that the Saints, not Sinclair, sorry, where was he? Sauce, where is he? Jay Silvani. Very unfortunate, very unlucky. He was held by Kerno in the goal square, which prevented him from getting a touch on a Heaney goal. So every little minor thing gets heavily scrutinized when you lose the game, but gee whiz, the Saints will have to ponder how they let it come to this and why the Swans dodge a missile, and they were good enough to capitalize. Bomb Braves versus Blues. This is a game where a lot of people thought that it would end up being a percentage booster for the Blues. The Wayward Bombers, hapless, one win for the entire season against Melbourne in Gather Round. They're up against the Blues, who had come into this game 3 wins in a row, and especially having beaten Geelong in that stretch with Josh Fraser at the helm. Bombers obviously decimated with injury and in terrible form, but gee whiz, the Bombers, they came to play. The Bombers were spirited, were leading for most of the game, but the Blues showed that they just had enough contributors across the board to capitalize on some really foolish, silly things by the Bombers. And they managed to, well done to Mackay for successfully convincing the umpire that he was going to have a shot on goal from 70 meters out. Shame on the umpire for thinking that he was, in fact, going to have a shot from 70 meters out. But alas, at the end of the day, the Blues had more talent on the field than the Bombers did. They were supposed to win. They really, I think, are relieved that they did win. And you just take the 4 points and you move on. If you're Carlton, if you're the Bombers, obviously walk around with your head held high, take some really important learnings out of this game, and move forward to your last game before you bye. Today's game, King's birthday clash. First one, Big Freeze without Neil. Lots of people in the house to see what was an arm wrestle all day long. A great game, full of injury, full of mistakes and higher pressure, causing people to play uncharacteristically. This was a great game. Great win for the Demons. I tipped them. Happy with that. Collingwood lose. Australia wins. We know all that jazz. So this was a very, very good game to watch from start to finish. Langford continues to go from strength to strength. Cozzy Pickett, gee whiz, he would have had your heart in your mouth multiple times, stuffed up a few things. Looked like he choked it at the end, but ends up kicking the winning goal, the sealer, right at the end to put them out to 8-point margin. Thoughts and prayers with, of course, Brody Myercheck, who had to be stretchered off the field and did not look to be in a good way at all. Very classy, very, very classy by the Magpies players for getting around him. Obviously, they let the Demons go first because they are his teammates, but I thought that was a wonderful gesture. It was a wonderful gesture by the Collingwood players to go around to Brody Myercheck. He was a former player of theirs. He was a premiership teammate, and I thought that was a wonderful thing that they did. But in the end, the Demons just too good when it really mattered, and they managed to cinch the 4 points in what was a thrilling game of football. They did it for Neil, and you love to see it. All right. Let's just quickly read through these comments before we turn our attention to the Gridley. I reckon he probably does. I reckon he does. Life is too short to look at Cluck and Walsh every day. 100%. How about we get Mark's horse to coach the Jesus. Isn't it against the moment? 100%. It is the best game, 100%. What's Worsfold doing these days? Hopefully nothing related to Essendon. Does Fraser want the Essendon job and to pick Scott Pendlebury with him? Hey, Pendle's an assistant. I'd take that as a development coach. Love it, Jamie. Have you seen the 23-0 game, Joe? Should I have a crack at that before or after Gridley? Quite quick and fun. I have not seen that. We'll have a what 23-0. What 23-0. How do you even play this game? Seriously, cost. Yeah, I think so, Travis. I think he absolutely lost his. He went bananas. I don't know what he was doing. And he kicked 12 points in the second half. I don't know. Yo, Supercoach Larrikin. Very nice. Well done, mate. Rio just proved they are ready. They are ready. They are ready. So I think Morris want to pick 31. Yeah, everyone's sort of looking silly, aren't they, Blue Iris? Waterman was stiff. I mean, yeah, I still can't get over the one that he had a clear as day opportunity to take a mark, kick a goal from the goal square, but alas, didn't happen. Saints should have won. I think I agree. They should have. They absolutely should have, but that's what I'm saying. The Swans dodged the bullet. As a Blue supporter, it's funny watching Kerno and Sauce on each other in different jumpers. It would be. The way I'm looking at the Blue Bombers game is that we would have lost that game every time under Vossi. True. Very true. And to be fair, we wouldn't have played, but the thing is, we wouldn't have played anywhere near as good if we still had Scott in the team. I don't think 21 seconds went missing, Blue Iris, because I think that was a glitch with KO. Apparently Channel 7's clock was still ticking normally, but with the Fox, with the KO footage, it was stuck on 44, but in reality, it was still counting down like normal. So we didn't actually lose 21 seconds. It was moving as normal. Where the time was wasted, though, was in giving Ben Mackay, Harry Mackay, should I say, 41 seconds to have his shot on goal from 70 meters out. That's where the time was lost. Cozzy is not human. Oh, Cozzy is insane. I think it could be a little bit crazy, but I honestly believe that Cozzy Pickett was the difference between these two teams. When he is around the ball, even when he doesn't have possession of it, he'll like stick his foot out, and the ball is almost like Ronaldinho. The ball sticks to his foot, and he's almost able to dribble it out of congestion. And because he's so quick, all he needs is a window to aim for, to run through, and he's out. He's gone. You can't grab him. And so many times when the ball is in dispute, when he's around the pill, he makes good things happen, and he gets the ball moving Melbourne's way. So I agree. It is definitely an honor. Yes, great stuff by the Piest. There was a TJ for my check. Game now needs to be called Neil's game, and a medal awarded. I still think it shouldn't be a medal. I think the Neil's game needs to be Essendon versus Melbourne. I still want it to be called the Big Freeze, because this is something that he established trying to fight against motor neurone disease. And obviously you have the slide. I think the Big Freeze should still be the Big Freeze. I think the Big Freeze needs to still be its own standalone thing. But then if Melbourne and Essendon want to have their own Neil's game where a medal is awarded, I reckon that would be, I'm all aboard that. But I still think the Big Freeze should be the Big Freeze. Try 23-0. All right, there we go. Never saw when Hulk Hogan used to pile drive other people, so maybe I'm getting soft. I'm gonna slip Pooh to Durham. Nice. Oh, well, Pooh has to go. Whitfield or Ash? If it doesn't prevent you from doing future upgrades, Whitfield. All right. How to play. Build the greatest all-era AFL team and chase a perfect 23-0 season. Spin to roll a random club and era for each of your 5 picks. Pick a player from that club and era, then assign them to a position. For best results, pick a side with balanced stats and career achievements. Okay. Let's give this a go. So Brisbane Lions. Wait, all right, so we spin first. So we need to pick a Port Adelaide player from the 2000s. Okay. And it automatically gives us the options. Oh, okay. Pretty cool. Not bad. Well, oh, there's no half forward position? Well, I like Gav Wanganeen. If I had to pick one, I might be biased, but gee, Gavin Wanganeen was a star. Loved Gav. All right, let me see some questions. Could be a trophy shape of a beanie. That would be pretty cool. I decided both. Nice. We're going to be cheaper next week. He probably will be, but he does have the Saints this week. But he has the Saints this week. And the Saints are notorious for points to designated kickers. Only choose the era. I'm happy to go with. Yeah, I still like him, but I just have to think where to put him. Aside from Sinclair, Holmes, Robertson, Lizard, who is better than Whitfield or Ash? Yeah, Nazai probably. But Whitfield and Ash are great options. If you can get both, you'd be loving life. Sherry at flex. Would you be holding or trading? Nah, hold him. Hold him. He's got 3 great matchups to come. You benefit nothing by trading him out now. He's lost cash. There's no point in trading him out now. Gav could be good. Yeah, I love Gav. Gav Wanganeen's a star. See you, Mark. Have a good night. See you tomorrow for the members. Who's a better player in the 2000s for Port Adelaide than Gav Wanganeen? Yeah, Dale. Yeah, you're right. Dale does deserve a shout for sure. I'm just gonna go Gav Wanganeen. I think I'm gonna go Gav. I'll go with Gav, and I'll put him in midfield. Sure, why not? Gold Coast 2010s. Really? No one here is generational. Because they don't even have Ablett. They don't even have Ablett. I want to change. But they don't have Ablett. This is in the 2020s. This is pre-Ablett. This is post-Ablett. So this is Shizen. I'm going to change the era to guarantee Ablett, right? Boom! Gary Ablett, get in my side. Richmond 2020s. Oh, it's got to be Dusty. Got to be Dusty. Carlton 1990s. All right, it's got to be... Oh. Am I likely to get a better defender than Sauce? I've already used up my utility and midfield spot, so I can't go Greg Williams. It's probably Sauce in defense. It's probably Steven Silvani, I think. All right, who's my ruckman going to be? Are you kidding me? Big O? Steph Martin. Guess it has to be Steph Martin. Unless I can change the club. Sydney. Oh. Oh, shit. 2010s. Damn it. Oh. Ah. 2010 Sydney. Oh, this is the worst version of the Sydney Swans for the rucks. Oh my god. Shane Mumford. Look, it's not bad. 20-3 minor premier. It's not bad. Mumford was decent, but it's not 23-0. 20-3. It's pretty good. This is a great game. I'm gonna do this every time. This is actually a really good game. All right, we're doing this every time now, and then we now turn our attention to the Gridley. 21-2. Dunstall, Took, Gawn, Scott West, and Scarlett. Wow. So what? Took Miller was the... So Took Miller maybe was the weak link in this team. Or Scott West. Nah, Scott West was a beast. All right. So... What app is this on? Oh, this is a website. This is Google. This is Google. This is just a... Let me copy and paste this link in the comments. Oh, it's too long. The link is too long. It's split up over a couple of posts, but essentially 23-0. This is pretty good. And then we turn our attention to the Gridley. So the Gridley, in appropriate fashion, is about Neil and the Big Freeze game. So if you guys have not played Gridley before, this is a game where, as you can see, there is a grid where you've got 9 options, 9 slots. And where the grid coincides with the X and the Y axes, the player therein must fit the bill. So, for example, with this one, there needs to be someone, a player, who has played for Melbourne and Collingwood. Okay? And we want our answers to be as rare as possible, because the rarer our answer is, means the lower our score will be. Similar to golf. The lower the score, the better we want. So, Mark Curson is a resident star of this. Given us Ross Brewer. Ross Brewer played for Melbourne and Collingwood in the 70s. Now, I personally have never heard of him, so I reckon he would be a pretty low option. And he is. Thank you very much, Mark. So, 0.5% of people have put in Ross Brewer. Now, there might be some much more obvious options like Harry O'Brien, for example, but we don't want the very obvious answers. We want these rare ones. 22-1. Dunstall going black and Hinkley in defense. Yes, Hinkley let you down. Hinkley let you down for sure. Oh, this was pretty impressive there. So we now turn our attention to the next one. So this is a Collingwood player. So someone who has played for Collingwood and also played in a final. Okay, we need a player who has played in a final and has played for Collingwood. Lee Brown. Lee Brown. Is Lee Brown going to be a very rare answer? Or Dan Sinclair? I don't know who Dan Sinclair is. He's clearly never played football, so it can't be that one. Now, Lee Brown, we used him as an answer not too long ago. Meant Ben. Look, let's try Lee Brown and see what happens. 0.7%. Very nice. Very good. Good shout out there, Houseman. So now we want someone who played in the 2010s. So for this one, we could do Ben Sinclair. 0.4%. Thank you very much, Kobe. This has been a wonderful start to the Gridley thus far. Beautiful. All right. So now we make it to the second row. So we need someone in this row who has played for Melbourne and has been coached by Neil Danaher. Put into a message. So we need someone coached Nathan Freeman. That would have been a good one. Nathan Freeman. Zero games though. 0 games. So he would not have fit the bill if we went with Nathan Freeman, because he had to have played 1 game. Craig Smoker. Wow. 17 games between 98 and 99. He coached them between 98 and 2007. Perfect. So 98, he was drafted. Oh wow, what a pick. 0.4%. Oh, what a pickup, Craig. He was drafted in Neil's first year as coach. Wow. What a get. Ezra Poyas. Excuse me? Excuse me? Played in a final, coached by Neil. He didn't play a game. He has to have played a game. He hasn't played. So for this one, we need someone who has played in a final, coached by Neil. So 90, maybe someone in 98? Because they clearly made it to a prelim. So someone who played in the 98 team. Now, they had to have played a game. They had to have played in the final, though. They had to have played in the final. David Shores, yeah. G'day, Michael. How you doing? I want them to Melbourne Demons elimination final. Oh no, it would have been the qualifying final because they finished top 4. David Neitz. Brent Grugic. Look, you've never let me down. 0.4%. You've never let me down, Mark. You've never let me down. What is David Schwartz? I think would have been a good one as well. Let me have a look on my phone. If I was doing it on my phone, how much would David Schwartz have been? %1.9% for David Schwartz. Still not a bad one. All right. I went 20-3. Ben Cousins, Clayton Oliver, Marcus Bond, Gavin, and Matthew Allen. Oh, that's a good team. I feel like Gavin Wanganeen let us down, and Matthew Allen maybe. Terrible round. 23 players for 1771. Gee, that is a terrible round. I didn't do too much better than you. I did 1883. So I beat you by 112 points. Okay, so need someone coached by Danaher who played in the 2010s. Yeah, 100%. It's unfortunately it's about statistics. So someone like I fear someone like Gav Wanganeen, as good as he is, as good as he was, isn't quite being captured properly. Hey, how's it going, Jonas? How about them blue boys? Blue boys into 110 overall. The car upgrade this week have to hold Sardis. Break even of 22. That's amazing. Good stuff, bro. 110 overall. That is an incredible performance this year. Well done, mate. And your blue boys got the dub as well against the Bombrays. So you're loving life. 28 possible answers of someone who played in the 2010s whilst coached by Neil. Cameron Bruce. 3%. Okay, so Cameron Bruce is one that will probably undo, but we'll see. I was playing the NBA version, and Wilt was a cheat code. If you yes, 100%. Wilt is still. All right, so we need a Melbourne player who has played in the Big Freeze. So the Big Freeze. This was Big Freeze 12, no? Leon Shelley, was he around then? I think he was. I wouldn't be surprised if Leon Shelley's probably a better option. Andrew Leon Shelley as a player. Oh, no, he finished in 2003. No. So he would not have been available as an option in the 2010s. Jeff Garland. Colin Garland, should I say? Colin Garland played till 2017. Which was 9 years ago. So yes, he would have featured. 0.3, love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So I need someone who has played a Big Freeze match, but also played in a final. I'm thinking it would have to be maybe someone from Collingwood. So I'm pretty sure there was a period of time there where Melbourne really weren't playing finals. Ugh. You'd be surprised. I just put in Luke Jackson in my phone and it was 1.9%. Luke Jackson was 1.9%. That's pretty funny. Steph Martin does not work. Neither does Lyndon Dunn. Well, I think I might just go with Luke Jackson. 2%, still a low enough score. And then I want played in the 2010s, but also has played in a Big Freeze. Played in 2010 and also played for a Big Freeze. What was his name again? That What was the name of that player? Who? Oh, yeah. Yep. 0.2%. That's good. All right, let's undo Cameron Bruce. Played in the 2010s under Neil Danaher. And also was coached by Neil Danaher. '22 and 1. Dean Cox, Richo, Swan, Sicily, Jeff White. Wow. So who was the weak link there? Wow, good get. Good get, Mark. But who was the weak link? Probably Jeff White. Or Sicily? I don't know. That's a great team. Bloody hell. All right. So 5.4. That is an amazing Gridley, guys. How does that put us on the leaderboard? 36. Not bad. Not bad, guys. Thank you very much for a wonderful Monday night live stream. I'm really at a loss as to what to do with my trades. Holden McHenry would have been so helpful. Well, it's all just about upgrading who you have on the field, really. That's all it is, Poet. Who are some rookies who have made a bit of money that you can downgrade to? Maybe I'm being too premature because I think Artemis comes in and plays a decent role for us. Yeah, I mean, there's hindsight is 2020. Maybe I don't get Sinclair. Sorry, maybe I don't get Wilkie. I'm not entirely sure. Already got Cozzy. Could go the horny one. Could go Hall. But yeah, there's no one really that's screaming pick me, is there? In the forward line. I mean, could go Horn Francis. But if you had to pick between Horn Francis and Wilkie, surely Wilkie's a better scorer than Horn Francis. So I'll just keep him out. So yeah, I mean, there's a bit to think about. It's obviously very raw. It's only just opened, but she'll be right. It's just a game. Fitzgerald will have to play at 34 again. Love to hear it. Hey, Placey, how you doing, man? We almost had it. We did. We almost had it. Proud of the effort. Proud of the boys. They didn't give up. Obviously, some bad habits creeping in with the sideways, backwards sort of movement. We're a bit scared to attack the game. Not too many people were attacking it like they did in the early stages because we're just not used to being in winning positions. And I can understand them freezing up. You know, I understand. I understand why they froze up and didn't attack because they didn't want to lose the game. But as soon as you start thinking that way, you've already lost. It's all about how you can win and not how you can save a game. And I think anyone out there looking at a coaching job has to look at the Essendon team and think, by God, there is a lot of potential in this list. There's a lot of good young talent. Youngest team in the comp, 16 injuries, up against the fifth oldest team in the comp with next to no injuries. Carlton basically had a full selection of players, minus Wiedering, who obviously is super important for them, don't get me wrong. But we've also lost a lot of really important players for our side. And clearly some of the players who we're fielding aren't up to it and would not be playing if we had other people available. So I think anyone looking at this team from the outside and considering coaching, get excited. Get excited. There's a lot of good pieces to work with. So I want us to finish. I don't know. I don't mind having these honourable losses from here on out to the end of the year. Couldn't care less. I want the number 1 pick. I want Van Hadem, and I want an assistance package. And we won't get an assistance package if we win lots of games or if we win a few more games from here on out. So I'd much rather us have some short-term pain with honourable losses in order to get some long-term game moving forward. Just got to keep a big picture. Keep the big picture in mind and place here. We'll be fine. Mid though, but we'll keep Use your brain, that's what it's here for. True. Meriting was awful. He was probably your best player, Jonas. He was probably your best player on the night. What he did, he killed us. He killed us with his ball use. So, yeah, I'm amazed Roberts even got to his 110 despite all the ball that Merritt got. So, yeah, fingers crossed. But that just about does us. 2 hours, 6 minutes. Had some fun. Answered questions, went over the games, did a couple of games ourselves. Murdoch, Pooh, and Jones to Horny, Dome, and Lake. Yeah, I'm not against it. Those are fine. Heaney or Baz? Baz. And on that note, cheers, everybody. Thank you so much. Hope you had a wonderful time. If you did, please like. Definitely helps. It's a very easy thing to do, to press the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new, notification bell, all that jazz. And if you remember, look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. If you're not, we'll see you on Thursday night for the drive home. Much love. Peace out. Never too late. Just because the big freeze game has come and gone, never too late to invest and getting, obviously, some more assistance to fighting against the beast, motor neurone disease. Goes a long way because every dollar counts to fight against this incurable disease. Never say never. See you all in the next one. I'll play the song just because I know Akka hates it, but the rest of us do. See you guys.
Supercoach tabs on my phone at dawn. Scrolling through the carnage, what went wrong? Grammar sold and steady, rookies on the rise. Mid-prices tempting me, danger in disguise. Big J calling from the couch, mate. Check your side. Joe bragging about a loophole, riding that tide. We're trading in our hopes like stocks on a screen. Chasing that price rise, living the dream. Woo! We're the center bound crew. Hey! Whistle blows, we're riding it through. From goals and behinds to the last upgrade. Greatest game in the world, that's how we're made. From a pig in the guts to the bench from a blues. Every week we're breaking the rules. They fell in our veins, yes, all we do. We're the center bound crew. Got duds on the park, can't win a hard ball. Need a downgrade target, answer that call. Possessions piling up, my captain's on fire. Vice loop lightning, sparks through the wire. Yeah. Trade plan scribbled on the back of a bill. One more sideways move, I swear I'll sit still. But the siren hits Friday, logic is gone. Mate, just push and go on. Who you backing in? Who you backing in? Who you backing in? Yeah, letting go. One more risky move, then we steal the show. We're the center bound crew. Hey! Whistle blows, we're riding it through. From goals and behinds to the last upgrade. Greatest game in the world, that's how we're made. From a pig in the guts to the bench from a blues. Every week we're breaking the rules. They fell in our veins. yeah, it's all we do. We're the center bounce crew.